All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of the STATUS10 podcast. My name is Blake Thompson, and I am the host of today's podcast, where we have Lawson Stinson, who is my best friend. Say what's up, dude.
Hello.
Hey.
How are y'all?
You're a
Sorry.
freaking goofball.
This is the first podcast that we've ever done, so we're having a laugh. It's a laugh. It's just a laugh. It's a good time.
Dude, if we mess up, like this is part of it. So you guys just rock with us. But today we're literally just gonna talk about like our backstory, kind of where we're at right now with everything, and then where we're headed. So I kind of want to start off just by like asking you, bro, like honestly, not even asking you, really just kind of talking about where we started, how we became friends. What is like a memory that you remember from like the first time that we...
First time?
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't like a first time. We're really getting in this like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Just like that. We're already in it. All right, so for everybody, we used to not be as clear and cut and sharp. Like, I feel like everybody's grown up in different circumstances, but we might have been some hoodlums, and we might have done some crazy stuff, and I'm talking some crazy stuff. And first memory that I truly like one of like the first golden memories, like when you just said that, I'll tell you what popped in my head. It was when you had like orange hair, bro. You had like curly orange hair.
The sun, it makes my hair orange.
And,
I hate it.
Yeah, you were just wearing this hoodie and your freaking ripped jeans, and we were you Alicia. And you were, I don't even know, we were out in your park in your neighborhood, and you were just being you, goofing all freaking riding your bike. You would freaking fall and goof around and I wrestled my ex at that time, Madison Miller, and like Dakota, like that day. That day?
This day.
That day.
That was we used to be some hoodlums. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep this pretty PG, but we used to be some hoodlums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about you?
What about me? Man, honestly, that was a good experience. For those of you guys that don't know, we were plastered. Like, we were young kids. We were plastered. And as much as he remembers that day, I barely do. So, this is where we're at. But honestly, bro, one of the core memories that I can say I remember of like me and you like really meeting, which is funny because I guess we just kind of like fell into friendship. It was just like, we were just kind of around the same people. And then eventually it was just like we connected more than everybody else in our circle. But it was a night we were on mushrooms and we were at one of our old friends' house. We were sitting in the driveway and we were completely tripping out. We were. And we were looking at the stars and we were like, wow, there's so much more to life than just like this small room. We had been hanging out at that house every day with all of our old friends.
I know which day you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's a great day.
And we were up, dude, until like 4 o'clock in the morning and just talked. And we hadn't even really known each other that well at the time. I remember we were tripping out so much that we were actually looking at the corners of the house and we were like, this house is built weird
and crooked. Why does it look like that? And then we finally went out into the freaking dark of the abyss of the night at 12 o'clock at night and looked up. And man, if you're on shrooms, you know what I'm talking about when you look at stars. It just blows your mind. That's where like I feel like when I think about the beginning of our relationship, I think a lot about consciousness, if that makes sense.
Consciousness, spirituality, like
where my consciousness just went like this. It just went like that. I don't know how to explain it. It's the best explanation I got for it.
I'd say truly it's because when we first met, we became friends, but like that's where we connected, was the spiritual aspect of things. And like, I didn't know much about it and you didn't know much about it. And I would say really was that night where we kind of had like a bit of mental clarity. And then you dove into it for sure. A lot more than me in the beginning. Like you were like, dude, like our consciousness and everything is so powerful. Everything we can do. And
universe, God.
It's weird now because like, obviously I kind of want to save all this for a different episode where we'll talk all on spirituality, but like that definitely is, I'd say,
this is
like,
the backbone of everything.
Yeah.
This is where it started.
Exactly. It's what shaped our mindset. And really it's like what got us to where you and I both believe in ourselves, like wholeheartedly. And I think that the spiritual aspect of things has played a huge part in that.
It has. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
definitely.
Aside from like the spiritual aspect of things, like over the last like 3 years, I mean, you've had some pretty exponential growth, and I mean, you've kind of discovered a new hobby, or I guess a career path. That's the videography, photography. I mean, how did you really get into that? I want some of the people to kind of know.
Well, my dad, dude, my dad's been a blessing in disguise in a weird way. I've always grown up around it, been around it literally since I can remember. He would have rappers and country artists and people just coming in the house, and I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and go get a glass of water or whatever, go get some milk, and people would just be in the living room, and I didn't know it at the time, but they're shooting music videos. They're putting together, let's say, scripts in
your living room.
In the living room, and it's like I didn't know.
Is this at the same trailer?
No.
Okay.
This is before the trailer. This is way before that. I was 10 years old. My little sister was freaking 4 years younger than me. Like it was that time frame, and he was even
time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So it's always been in my life, and I guess the camera was just, it ended up collecting dust. My dad had 5 kids, had a crazy divorce, all this crazy stuff, fell in love again, freaking moved to Florida, all this stuff. So it really just, it was collecting dust, and I was like looking at social media just started really popping off, and I was like, dang, dude, I have that. I know I have that. I know I'm creative. Like I know I can create. Let me pick that up. So I had a little convincing I had to do for him, but I think he obviously saw the vision, and now in about 10 months, I've done a lot with it in 10 months. 10 months, I feel like I give myself some good credit.
Yeah, you have for sure. You got some awesome content and like a bunch of really cool photos. So tell me about like Hawaii, because you have some really, really cool pictures from Hawaii.
Well, let's back up real quick. I wanna go back and forth off of each question. So,
Fair.
So like you asked me about how I got into my creative side of me and like really where my career is at, and I already know. But let's talk about how you got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, dude, honestly, entrepreneurship I feel like has always been in my life. Like my dad, he's been in sales, and he may not necessarily have taken like an entrepreneurial path, but just that drive for like wanting to go and get it, like make money. Like my dad's always just been like that. And as a kid, I always had a drive to want to beat my dad. And so when I was 18, I began like a sales job, and I was going door to door selling pest control, which was a wild ride for sure.
How was it?
It was an experience. I honestly hated selling pest control, but I loved it at the same time, because it really did shape my mind frame and like made me a more driven, more motivated person. And like after that, I didn't have the best experience with that, but what I did is I gained a lot of like knowledge, and that knowledge was able to be applied to a different sales job where I went and knocked doors, and I was selling solar panels.
Which was a quantum leap in itself. You didn't even know it.
Literally, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. When I started to sell solar panels, it was like I went out, I was in Atlanta, I had a terrible experience for my first 3 weeks, and then somebody let me know, hey, there's a better opportunity on the other side. And so I went and I followed this guy, and I ended up making $20,000, $22,000 exactly in my first week of selling solar. Or really, it was like my first genuine week of selling solar. I was able to make $22,000, and that was where I was only 18 years old, and I was like, okay, wait a second, like this is reality. Like money you can make a lump sum of money just like that, and it really shifted my perspective on like life and money and the things that I could do and accomplish. And so moving through solar panels, I kind of fell out of that. Like, honestly, I liked the sales aspect. I liked the driven motivation factor of everything, but I truly did not like going door to door. And I was just like,
it was a love-hate relationship. Let me say that. Cause I look back on it, dude, I love knocking doors. I love it.
For those of you that don't know, like me and Lawson, we sold panels. So we sold solar together. In the beginning, that was just kind of how everything started, which was, it made everything better, bro. Cause like that was sometimes that was hard as shit, dude. And like being able to have like my friends, especially you there, was like made everything a lot easier for sure.
It's so funny because we have these things in our minds, and we have to create a vision for these people. Like they don't know about all the freaking times we would go up into Sunder and freaking do the literally like study and role play and recall.
We do the
freaking
huddles.
yeah, exactly. All that stuff. Like I can see that right now.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm just saying there's a lot that's happened in our life, and especially together. Like we have a lot of the same insights and thoughts and experiences.
Right, bro. And that's the best thing about like me and you being best friends is we're always gonna have these core memories to look back. Like one day we're gonna look back and be like, remember that time we shot our first podcast at the podcast house?
Yeah.
Like that's just gonna be another one of those core memories. But like, bro, to answer your question, the entrepreneurial thing, it started in sales, door to door. I hated it, and I knew that I could do something greater. I literally obsessed over watching videos about how to build an agency, and then I somehow manifested a mentor. So a lot of you guys probably know who that is. His name is Arturo Johnson, and he's been a huge impact in my life. Like he's definitely shifted my outlook on things, right? Like he's done $300,000 months, and I've never been around somebody doing money like that. And just like his drive and his passion for work and like what he does, you know, when he goes out and like speaks on stage, like he has conviction in everything that he does. And it's really, truly like with him being my mentor, it's grown on me. And
You want to adopt those traits.
yeah, I've adopted a lot of those traits, and I'd say that I'm really grateful for that. Having a mentor has really like helped me grow in the entrepreneurial space. And ultimately, like I'm just in the beginning, you know what I mean? Like I just cleared my first $15,000 month this month.
Good fucking job. Bro.
And obviously I knew it was gonna happen because like when you surround yourself with people that are doing, like it is just inevitable. But I always like had it in the back of my mind that like I had something that I was built to do and like something I was made to start. And I was always working for like others and like doing sales for other people. And it always just bothered me that like I wasn't fulfilling
Your calling.
Yeah, literally my calling. My calling is to help a tremendous amount of people, and I can do it through my own messaging and my own branding and without having to like leverage other people, right? Like I want to be the one who's in control. And that's ultimately why I chose to like start as an entrepreneur and like build out my own consulting. It started as an agency, and obviously now I'm in
You
the
just wanted to serve
consulting
and
space.
help people. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. It's all it's ever been, right? Like when I first sold my first door, it was crazy because the dude was paying $600 and something a month. I couldn't tell you now, but he was paying over $600 a month, and I was able to get his bill down to $200 a month. And he was so freaking ecstatic. Like that literally changed his life.
Yeah.
And I got $12,000 for that, right? Like I got paid $12,000 to help that guy, and I felt good helping him, and I felt good collecting cash, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where my love for entrepreneurship really started, dude.
I can definitely. Your dad had a huge role to push you there. And props to you, Jake Thompson from Toyota of Gallatin.
Yeah, facts.
You did something. You raised some type of man.
Thanks. I love you, Dad. Honestly, you're an asshole sometimes, and I'm an asshole too. And you've really helped me a lot to get to where I am today. I love you.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna talk about where I'm going right now. Right now, I'm a one-man dream team. What's up?
I love that. But before you get into what you're doing right now, I just pertaining to like entrepreneurship, I'm curious. Like you are such a creative, and like as an entrepreneur, me being your best friend, does that ever make you question like where you're headed or what you're kind of doing? Because I feel like sometimes, like as a creative, we get so caught up in like shiny object syndrome, and we're like looking at all these things that we can get with all this money. And I know that being a creative takes a lot more, like, you know, being up in your mental.
Yep. Yes. Simple answer. Yes, I get swayed a lot, and but more recently, and something I've really came across is faith. Putting my faith in myself. And it's been hard to stand by that because I've never had that foundation before. But just recently, I've really got into putting my faith in me and putting my faith in God, I guess you'd say. And but before this, dude, I'd get swayed every weekend, every day almost. I want to do this, but I feel like something's calling me to do something else. And I feel like this might be the smarter way. And, oh, my grandparents are telling me to do this. And, oh, I see everybody on social media doing this thing. Maybe I should do that. But my heart has always, always, always known what I should do. And I need to stick to that. And so to answer your question, yes, I've got swayed before.
But I think it's cool that you know, like, the journey you're headed on, because every single time, like, I'm really bad about the shiny object or strategy syndrome, whatever you want to call it, right? But I always have these ideas that I'm calling you with, and I'm like, dude, this is so freaking cool. I'm like, imagine this, picture this, right?
Yeah.
And something that you are actually really good at is just like staying aligned with your goals and like keeping yourself aligned with what you want to do, even if it means that like right now you're not seeing much benefit from it, you know? And because like I know, like as a photographer and videographer, which is like kind of how I started, like being able to get your name out there and get yourself out there and like have people who actually recognize your work, like it is a struggle in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Exactly.
Yes, but that's the fun part. It's what is it, the Kobe Bryant, he says, look, man, the destination isn't the great part, basically. The journey is the great part. And that is really like life can be stripped from us just like that. And we both just learned that recently. And I really think it is just about the journey. Like tomorrow, literally, if I died next week, and I knew that, and I know that date. Like I know that date. Why would I wake up tomorrow and yes, emotions are a thing. We all have emotions, but dude, just be grateful. You're alive. I have a working body. I have a heart that's pumping my blood, and I have the ability to go out there and conquer something or whatever. I have family. I have all these things. I live in gratitude. I have a lot of things I'm grateful for. I really think it's the world in general needs to get back to seeing life for what it is and stop getting so caught up in your career. At the end of the day, you should let go of those things because, yes, they're you, definitely. Like they make a part of your identity. But at the end of the day, like last night I was laying in bed and I just let go of everything. I just was in my imagination. I was in my own brain and I just let go of everything because I am what I have and that's enough. Like that is enough. And I don't know. That's what I wanted to say about that.
Man,
can you do something for me?
What?
Look, your phone is like right there. Thank you.
Sorry.
You're giving me that. I was like thinking about that mid-conversation. I was like,
and a distraction, right? It's literally all, that's part of ADHD. Man, I feel like, where are we at? We're at 18 minutes. Dude, you're right. Let's talk about kind of what we got going on right now. Because I think both of us are in the midst of some really awesome stuff. What you got going on, dude?
What we got going on? I like creative director. That's a big one. That's the big word in my life right now. Creative direction, because that encapsulates a lot. It holds a lot in it. It holds a lot of power, a lot of things that I want to do. So really right now, my main focus is to truly develop my skills, develop my lifestyle that I want to live. Like I always talk about habits and how habits are so important, but yes, habits incorporate into a lifestyle. But right now, dude, I just want to get a lifestyle going that I love. Like I'm trying to think about in 30 years, how do I want to live the rest of my life forever? Like we're going to get real. I have smoked cigarettes in the past. I hate those things, dude. And I had to step back yesterday and was like, dude, when I have a daughter, when I have a son, like, do I want to be smoking cigarettes around them? Hell no. Hell no, I ain't going to do that. I think that's just gross as fuck.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it. So why not implement that into my lifestyle now? Change it now. Because then I won't ever have to worry about it. And then it's just my lifestyle. And so everything that kind of goes into that, like I'm just trying to figure out what, and I can't tell the future, but everything that I think I want in my lifestyle from 10, 20 years from now, like I'm trying to bring that into right now, and I'm trying to embody that right now.
Yeah, that's strong. Yeah. I mean, that right there is fucking powerful, dude. I think too many people literally get caught up in like actually just trying to make a lot of money. And something that I think is really cool. Like I'm always looking to, I'm like always talking about it. I'm gonna hit 100K a month. I'm gonna hit 100K a month. And you're just like, dude, I just want to live the fucking lifestyle I want.
Yeah.
Like end of the day, like I don't really, not about the dollar amount. It's just like, let me cultivate a life that I love. And it's like that phrase. If you love what you do, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep.
And you're literally building that subconsciously. And I think that that's really cool because everybody is like we're all creators of our reality, you know?
Yep.
And like with that being the objective, like you're gonna have a badass lifestyle before you even know it. And it's kind of like the same thing with me. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna hit $100,000 a month. Dude, I don't know when the fuck it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna hit $100,000 a month. And it's just because of me, I'm putting conscious effort towards it. And like you wake up each day knowing that like you're trying to better your lifestyle.
And you know every day that you're just trying to reach 100,000 a month.
Exactly. And bro, I really appreciate it about you because I'm grateful to be best friends and kind of like this because you keep me on track.
We have such a different dynamic. It's totally, literally opposites ends of the scale.
Exactly. Like you keep me on track, bro. When it like yesterday, dude, I did not want to wake up, go to outside. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, I think. We met up at the park and we ran 1.5 miles. Dude, I haven't gone running in like 2 months, but I ran 1.5 miles.
Yep.
And it was just because like, you're like, dude, like your life it matters. Your head's in the computer all the time. Like just come out with me, feel the grass. And I'm like, dude, you're right. Let's
I'm telling
go.
you, that grass feels good, bro.
It did, dude. And I was like, I was so grateful. I woke
After the fact, because you just did it.
The rest of the day, I felt energized. I felt good. Like I was happy. I was proud of myself. So
There's a saying I heard yesterday, and it was just from a friend, but it stuck out. It stood out for me, and it was that the right thing is usually one of the hardest things to do, like in the moment, kind of a thing. Like just the right thing to do. Like we could have been lazy today, which I doubt it, but we could have been lazy today and sat on our asses at home and just not made the decision to come here to make this first podcast and put it into action. But that's not who we are. And I'm telling you, like I was just dirty earlier. I was like, I gotta take a shower. Like we're on a crunch. We're on a time crunch. Like blah 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 blah. All these things are happening, and we just were like, we're gonna get done. We're just gonna go do it. Let's just get it done because at the end of the day, we're both going to sleep. We're both gonna have the same day.
Exactly, dude. It's literally what time is it? It's 7 o'clock at night, and typically I'm wrapping up majority of my day about 6 o'clock. Like today, I took about 5 sales calls, and which was pretty freaking awesome for me, like considering this is the start of my business. This is the most amount of calls I've had in one day, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was really, I was amped up about it.
Cool.
Now I didn't actually get any of them to sign today, but like I'm a firm believer in the follow-up.
The follow-up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've been preaching that.
Yeah.
But dude, it's 7 o'clock and we're out here filming a podcast. We're 20 years old, 21 years old, and just like we're sitting here doing the things that we know are going to benefit us in the long run. Like we literally 3 years ago probably would be sitting on the couch right now smoking weed. And if we weren't sitting on the couch, we were probably driving downtown Nashville to go do some hood rat shit.
There you go.
So it's really cool just to see the way that the dynamic has changed, especially since me and you have like really became friends.
Yeah.
And like, I know that you and me in the next 10, 15 years, will still be friends,
Dude,
you know?
and it's going to be unimaginable. Like all the things that we imagine, to take it a step further, like you can't even imagine the shit that God has set up for you in life right now. Like you don't know, bro, what God has in store for you.
Like you can only create a vision of something that like is ideal in your mind, but like you don't actually ever really truly know what the end outcome is
or how it will come about. Like the things that me and this man, I was almost like kid, but this man has curated and manifested into our life is absolutely
okay.
Insane.
I mean, I
Tell
just
the
have to talk about this story, okay?
Are you talking about the camera?
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys don't believe in manifestation, just go ahead and cut that out. It's real. I literally, for weeks, researched the Sony a7 III. It was a camera I knew I wanted. It was something I already knew all the settings on that camera, what lenses I was going to buy for it before I ever even got it. And one day, I was just scrolling up on Instagram, and there was a girl, her name was Desiree. She was doing a camera giveaway, and the camera giveaway didn't really, like, hype me up that much. I thought it was really cool what she was doing, so I figured I'd share. But like my goal was to get an a7 III, and she was giving away an a6400. So, but her content was awesome, right? But the point is, I was able to what I like to say, manifest this camera through this very, very kind woman. She literally reached out to me. She said, hey, I'm really inspired about the content that you're putting out, and I would love to help you like better your journey. What is a tool inside of your camera bag that you need? And I was like, no way. Like, come on, you're joking. Like, I don't even know who you are. And she was like, no, seriously. And it was 2 weeks later, I had a camera in the mail, an A7 III, the exact camera I knew I wanted. And I didn't pay $1 for it. And what ended up being really cool about that is like, you know, now I know her and we've still yet to meet, but like that connection has been built and I was able to grow from that. That camera led me to where I am today. And I've been able to pass that on. The camera I started with was able to gift to somebody else. The lenses that I started with, I was able to gift to somebody else. And if you don't believe in manifestation, I'm telling you right now, like, just go ahead and cut that belief out.
And you know what it is? It's not journaling. It's not visualizing. It is just knowing and putting everything aside and just knowing that time is it. Time, you just have to wait on time.
Exactly. Like, that's what's so cool is manifestation is none of those things. Like you just said, it is all in firm belief. Like every single time I manifest something, I know that I'm going to have it. If you remember that time, I was like, I'm going to manifest a mentor. I met that guy. He had that agency. He was driving that R8, remember?
Yep.
And it was, right. And he wasn't my mentor, right? But he was the first person.
Coming into it. Yeah.
Exactly. He was the first person that I'd met inside of my space who like kind of gave me some inspiration. And then, which is crazy, I don't even remember his name, but it was 2 weeks later after telling you I'm going to manifest a mentor. Arturo Johnson walks into my life. Dude's doing $300,000 a month with his agency.
He's been next door for how long? He's been next door to our friend's Brian's house that we used to be all at his house all the time. Literally neighbors.
Exactly.
Neighbors.
And that's what's cool is like sometimes the greatest influences in your life are right there and you just have to find them. All right, so we had a little bit of a complication with the podcast. It cut out, so go ahead. Excuse that. We don't even know where we lost it, but we know that we got some stuff, so we're good.
We're just going to keep rolling with it.
Yeah, dude, you had a story. You were talking about like Africa or something.
I was talking about the tribe, man. There's this tribe, and I was talking about manifestation. I'm trying to reel this into manifestation. There's this tribe, and they didn't know the color blue. Their eyes couldn't see the color blue. It just turned when they said, "What is the ocean?" They said green, and I know, right? And the scientists, whoever wanted, journalists, whatever, they had this circle. They had like circle, and all the circles were green except one. One was blue, and basically when they said, "Look at the tribe," it took them a long time to figure out which one was the different shaded one. And this is all to say is that you have to your brain literally has to open. It has to switch a flip to just see that certain thing. Like your mentor was literally right next door. He was in your life. He was basically in your life in a certain way, like really, really close to it. Yet just one little movement and he's there like that. And literally he was next door. And same thing with any is it, whether it's a Lamborghini or a freaking penny, dude, it's in your vicinity of life. You just have to be open and receptive to it. And I was just saying that because I really think that it is just a flip of a switch. It is just your subconscious, and it is just a belief system, and we are just energetic beings. It's all energy. Everything, this thing, and my iPhone, and this Lamborghini, and my heart.
Will you move that for me?
Energy, it's all energy. It's weird. It's weird.
What's really, really cool is like me and you, we've taken a lot of mushrooms together, bro. And like we basically, obviously energy's always been around and like these principles have always lived through life, but we didn't know really hardly anything about energy and life and like our spiritual consciousness and whatever, our spiritual being. And
it came to us. It talked through us.
It literally did, dude. Me and you sat there that night. We were on mushrooms and we both whatever. Just don't do drugs, kids. I don't count mushrooms as drugs, but all I'm gonna say is just don't do drugs, kids. However, we had a major breakthrough then, and like it was it was really cool to now see, looking back, like what that one night where we were in my room and we were writing in our journals notes that we couldn't even read the next morning. But we had a really huge spiritual breakthrough, and we've had many spiritual breakthroughs. But like I can say that one for sure was
that was an understanding of the laws of the universe and what the universe is, I think. And it's weird because we didn't know that stuff. Like we didn't know anything about the seed of life and atoms and all this stuff, and we were just literally using what was already in our brains and then saying, how can I decipher this? How does this make sense in my brain? And you know, it made sense. It made sense.
No, it did, and I still live by that. Like pretty much that concept we built up that night, I basically live by that because it's what came to me. Like it's not anything that I heard from an outside source or like I love the Bible, and I love it because it's so metaphorical in so many ways that we can relate it to like actual human life. But you know, that night, like my consciousness, my spiritual being like spoke through me that night. And it was just like more powerful than anything I've ever felt. That is God, right? And everybody talks about God. Like I was able to experience God through me in a way that like I think most people feel but don't truly understand. And so I don't know, like I don't know if it was, you know, me being on the mushrooms that night or if it was just whatever. But like from that night forward, I've really truly understood like the difference between me and my consciousness because they're really truly two separate people.
Yep. You ain't your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, you're not your thoughts. No. I love it. I love when you say that. You always say that.
Yep. No, you can literally sit. That's why I love meditation, is because you sit there and your brain starts, I got to go pee. And, oh, you need to eat right now. Or, hey, you got this thing to do tomorrow. Or whatever it is. And it's like, you're not thinking those things. They're just coming up. They're just popping up. And if you really sit back and you take a step back in consciousness, in your mind, it's weird. It's like, this is your brain. This is your brain. This is you. You are the observer. You are the one watching. And it's a weird one because when you sit in meditation, you can really just see all these thoughts come and go and come and stay. And it's weird. It's really, really cool. I love that. I love those concepts.
Especially when your eyes are closed.
Yeah, bro. It's been a good time here talking with you, bro. This is our first podcast, man. This is our first podcast. We're going to remember this one. Yeah, this is cool.
You said that you were working to really just cultivate a lifestyle. And I think that's really, really freaking cool. And I kind of wanted to just like give a little insight because I think not a lot of you guys that are actually watching this podcast know too much about like what I'm actually doing. And it is weird to a lot of people. Sometimes when I tell people what I do, they're like, bro, how the hell you just made $15,000 this month doing what? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of complicated, but it works. And the truth is, all I really do is I help coaches and consultants like build personal brands that actually generate them money. And this year, I really figured out like how to get to this point through working with Arturo and like hiring on different coaches. In the meantime,
what'd you do today?
Today, yeah, literally this year, if you guys are really, this is huge because today I just spent another $10,000 on a coaching program, something that I know is going to help me leverage, one, my info, and two, my income. And I took a big chunk out of my savings account, and I'm supposed to be moving next month, and that money was set aside to move. So I'm taking a bet. I'm putting a real risk on myself, right? Like all my chips are in right now. And the truth is, I know it's gonna work because at the end of the day, like I'm paying for knowledge and it's all in how I apply the knowledge. And one thing that I'm really, really good at is applying the information that I'm given. And so for all of you out there, right, like if you're on the fence of investing in yourself, if you've thought about investing in a coach, whatever, a consultant, like definitely do that in any aspect, right? It doesn't have to be with me about building a personal brand or anything like that. Just like truly find you a coach, a mentor, somebody that like you click with, somebody that is more knowledgeable than you and somebody that you can pay for their information. And the reason why I say pay for that information is because when you're bought in,
you're all in.
You're all in. Exactly. When you're bought in, you're all in. And I can't stress it enough. Like if you're going to get a coach or if you're going to get a consultant, somebody that is like helping you along the way, make sure that you're invested in them, right? Because you're investing in yourself in the meantime. I went on a tangent there, but
It's good though.
yeah, like I just, that's so real. And it's really where I'm at with my business. I started this coaching business or consulting business more so because I'm helping kind of with the videos and everything more hands-on, but I'm doing a done with you service. And the reason why it's been really beneficial for me is just because, one, I've been able to step back and kind of analyze things more. All the people that I work with are also coaches and consultants, which means they're typically experts in what they do. And like they're able to teach others on like topics that they specialize in and maybe I don't specialize in. So I'm getting a lot of like insight from some of the people that I'm like working with. And that's really the most key point to like why I started my business in the first place, was like, I can get information from people who are smarter than me. And by the end of this business, all the information that I've gained, I can apply to whatever the next business I choose to be is, right? I don't know how long I want to be in the consulting space. Like I might want to be a consultant for the next 5 years, or maybe I build $1 billion consulting firm that lasts my whole life. But
Manifestation.
right, like shit. Yeah, the truth is like right now where I'm at with what I'm doing, I'm just trying to help people. And I think it's really cool.
I love the word serve.
Serve. I'm just trying to serve people. I like that. Something I definitely do want to focus on though, and that kind of hit me this like conversation, is just like focusing on the lifestyle. I sit at my computer every day, and my girlfriend sometimes she's like, dude, like give me attention. And I'm like, wow, you know, I have been sitting at my computer for 8 hours. Maybe I should look up from my phone and from my screen and, you know, so like, I like that, dude. I like the whole lifestyle thing, like cultivating a lifestyle. I'm definitely gonna work more on that.
I'm gonna take a little bit more, what is the word? I guess you say action, simply. I love the word action. Action is action. Start taking some more action to, you know, because money is important. I think for anybody that is young and maybe don't have a relationship right now, maybe you're a 12-year-old and maybe you might be big, maybe you might be a little fatter, dude, and maybe you might be focused on all these girls. And dude, I'm telling you, shit don't matter. Shit don't matter. Put it aside, and I'm telling you, focus on yourself, focus on your finances, focus on your career, focus on yourself. Those are all internal things about you. And I really think I think that the world needs more of that. Like, we're so caught up in this phone thing. We're so caught up in the, what is this person doing? What is that person doing? And you're going to miss your life like that, bro. Your life will go right by. I promise. I promise it will just go right by if you're always in that thing. So get out of your phone and freaking curate a lifestyle that is, and a life that is beautiful to you, that you want to live. Stop watching people do it. Go freaking do it, dude.
And that brings you money.
Yeah.
Like literally, when I started videography, all I wanted to do was make videos.
Yep.
And the next thing I knew, money was following me.
Yeah.
You know, and then all I really wanted to do was build an agency. And then next thing I know, I was like doing 15 grand a month. Yeah. Right? Like when you do the things that you love, just money follows you.
Yep.
You know? And also another thing is like, I think too many people, and like sometimes like even myself included, like really I've kind of buckled down on this over the last couple of weeks. Arturo told me this, right? But I think that a lot of people are spending a lot of time taking insight from people around them. Like, for example, your dad, your mom, your friends, if they have not cultivated a life that you want, like, don't fucking take advice from them.
Yep.
You know, like, no hate to my dad, and I love my dad, but he's not got the life that I want, and he's not working towards a life that I want. So at the end of the day, I'm not gonna take advice from him, right? And that's why I really enjoy having a mentor, because I love my dad and I'm able to get advice from somebody who is above me and somebody that like I actually, you know, care about. And so I really truly think like for you guys, if you have your parents around you, if you've got your friends around you and they're like, dude, you're doing this wrong, do this, change this. Like, if they don't have the life that you want, don't listen to them. Like, that's just stupid because you've got all the ability to curate a life that you want. And all these outside opinions and all these outside perspectives are only going to like hinder your.
They're putting limitations on you where limitations shouldn't be there. I just said that to myself last night. So I'm glad you're saying this. I have built up all of these limitations on myself for no goddamn reason, dude. Everybody else's input, and I shouldn't have freaking listened to it because it wasn't true to me. Grandma, oh, you should go get a real job. You should go get whatever job, whatever type thing. Like, and then my brain starts questioning that. That's a limitation, dude. Like, if I would have just put that aside and said, no, that's not. But I questioned it. And now it's in my brain, and I've had to remove that. Basically, I'm just saying, there's a song by Jack Harlow, and it says, "Stop giving me advice. Stop giving me advice." And you know, bro, I take that as anybody that doesn't have your lifestyle or is working towards your lifestyle. Don't take the advice from them.
Exactly, bro. I don't think like that's not to say do not take advice from your dad, right? Like sometimes you have to, right? Maybe it's girl advice, right? Maybe your dad and your mom have the greatest relationship and you're running into some problems with your wife or your freaking girlfriend. And you're like, okay, my dad's got an awesome relationship. Maybe I should take some advice from him. Take some advice from the dude. But ultimately, like, if you're building a business and your dad or your mom or your friends, they don't have the business that you want, do not take their advice because you control your outcome. And if you're starting to let these people hinder your vision, your dream, then you're not going to get to it. So just stay focused.
All right, bro. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we got 45 minutes. So, dude, honestly, this has been freaking awesome. I'm glad that we were able to come on here.
First podcast, baby.
It's
through STATUS10.
Exactly. And nothing about this had to be perfect. It was just, we did it. We came here, we talked, and we kind of shared a little insight.
Yep.
Bro, I love you, dude.
This was the easy part, man. I love you too, man. Like, literally, the showing up was the quote-unquote hard part. Like, that's the hardest part, bro. You just got to show up. You did 80% of the freaking work.
Exactly. And, dude, the cool thing is, like...
80-20 rule.
What'd you say?
80-20 rule.
80-20 rule. Bro, what's crazy is we've filmed it. It's done. Like, it's out the way.
Yeah.
And it's not that this was even dreadful. It's like, this was really, really fun. I actually really have been looking forward to doing something like this. But sometimes it's nerve-wracking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We didn't even know what we wanted to truly talk about before we came here. We were sitting in the car and we were like, what the hell do we cover?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a little bit about our backstory, a little bit about what we got going on right now, and a little bit about what we got coming in the near future.
Yep.
So thank you guys for tuning in to the STATUS10 podcast. Lawson, thank you again, bro.
Out.
I'll see you guys next time.
Peace. Boom.